Previously, last Friday, we had season 1 of a one-way relationship. In that season 1, we talked about a lot of things for those who missed. Among them, we learned that narcissistic relationships are a pain. Okay? A person who is conducting a one-way relationship to a narcissist. Okay? We learned where the word narcissist came from and why they call them narcissists in psychology. If you missed, we understood how to distinguish between a narcissistic relationship and a non-narcissistic relationship. Twabyawula. If you missed, we talked about how narcissistic relationships begin as casual, chisazi, and they end up in casualty. Ekizimba kisambye eddagala bakutwala mu casualty, where some people even run mad because of narcissistic relationships. We learned how to define narcissists with that string of words: arrogant, cocky, egotistical, God's gift to the universe, liar, cheater, all in one string of a personality. And then we learned that someone can have one personality, but they may not be necessarily narcissistic. So we learned how to deal with them at the beginning stage, and we learned the steps you take to a narcissistic relationship. We learned the 15 steps you go through to get that encounter of narcissism. Okay? And among them, I cannot mention. If you missed this show, please, I request you go to the YouTube channel and check out that video for last week. One-way relationship, season 1. It is the introduction phase of these seasons, and you will have a memorable encounter with the video. So please, if you missed, first go check it out. As we are continuing with this, go back and study what you don't know. Because those who missed last week, this is a continuation to the season. To the Ladies Guide community, you, the ever-present at 5 p.m., the future counselors and psychologists, when they don't have a piece of paper, we have trained you. Thank you for always keeping it here at 5 p.m. and being very committed to these shows. Your participation, your contribution, your support and the love you show me can never be underestimated. It keeps me going and going and giving you more of this, as well as researching what to give you next. So thank you so much. You are the community of people who are going to be the leaders of the next generation. Those who have missed this part, you will help them. Because when you go through all these series, you become a very complete coach in love. Once again, Mariam.N.M. I'm a counseling psychologist and author of 3 amazing books. Ladies Guide 1, Fulfilling Relationships. Ladies Guide 2, Emotional Happiness. Ladies Guide 3, The Journal, where they write thoughts. Every woman needs that journal. And apparently, we have done an edition of Ladies Guide 1. This is how it's going to appear. Okay? The Ladies Guide to Fulfilling Relationship, now in an edition. What makes this edition very different is it is very interactive. We put cartoons, we put pointers, we even put some formulas, like mathematical formulas, now in love. So if you read Ladies Guide 1 to Fulfilling Relationship, you may need now the Ladies Guide 1 as a new edition. So we are clocking 8 years. Ladies Guide, that book, has clocked 8 years. On Sunday, 29th August, it is clocking 8 years. So we thought and we found it very important to edit it, to put pointers, to make it interactive with the reader, to give it those basic stuff. Because if it worked on you last time without pointers, now this time, it's going to help you more. So we are releasing it, I think, by next week. The books will be out in circulation. The Ladies Guide, new edition. And that is our gift for the anniversary this year. Okay? So 29th is going to be a Sunday. I may not be able to do the live, okay? But what I try to introduce to you today is that the book has been edited very well. We have given it all our time. We have made it the best of the best, and it's going out to face international markets. World standard. No mistake, pointers, cartoons, and it's going to be in color print. That's the amazing part. So if you read the Ladies Guide 1, please, this is another book for us to read. what is my gift now? Yeah? What is my gift? I have the 5 names of people who are going to be gifted to Jabasuma next week. Okay? Time has not been my side this week. Who are going to be receiving these gifts from the ladies' guide. Okay? Mujabamba bafuna engatto, abafuna ensawo, abanafuna perfume, abanafuna bedding. Kati kwatakeera ku ladies' guide mbasasire. This is the only channel where we teach and give. Eh? We teach you, we take the information, and we also gift you for attending. So we are looking at those who are always first on the show, and those who are very interactive on the show, and those who have kept very consistent. The point being consistent. They're going to be consistency. They're going to be receiving gifts from the ladies' guide. We shall read their names. Boba Jambawe Bidabo, Bajabiba for Facebook, or wherever. Okay? So we shall make the deliveries, I think, early next week. I've been so busy, I wasn't able to be in position to deliver them. Okay? So we shall read the names. I think it will motivate most of you to always be early on the channel. And I give gifts. Even end of year, that is who I am. Okay? Because this is a love channel and we share love. Let's get started. One-way relationship season 2. Abanazi tubalina. Tugenda kukozesa Oluganda okusinga bbanga ab'omukutu guno balaga nabo banazi. Nalabye nga bampandiikira tebaagala mboozi zino eza narcissism bazitya. Kubanga bo bennyini be ba practitioners. So balaba mbagudde amaaso. I had to invoke them to write to me. Okay? That this is a very sensitive issue. But we are kindly informing you nengamba bantu basaaga. Tebamanyi gwe bazanyirako. I am an ex-military. Kati omuntu alise mu military intelligence oba approaching olina okuba very careful. Basalawo mangu ayite bakyuka. So sikyuka. So we shall be continuing. Olulimi ngenda tugonzaamu. Kubanga wenkozesa Oluzungu balukwata nnyo. Wenkozesa Oluganda babulabulamu. Nagamba wagambye eki. Banyika translator kati bali mu kutulaba. You see how that topic is very sensitive? It evokes everyone. Why? Because almost buli muntu ali all over bali ba narcissists. Okay? So where ekigambo ekyandibadde narcissist njateekawo NAC kati abalabo okitegedde. NARC, NAC. Kati ombayita ba NACs. Kati waliwo kati wakitegedde ta. NACs ategeeza ki? Tekirimu mu bukugu. So tubayite ba NACs. Tubayite ba one way oba otegedde. Okay? That is being wise. Okay? So one-way relationships. One-way relationship. Nga otwala toza. Atwala tazza. Atwala tazza. Nga tutambula bwetuti. N'otugesa ne weebuuza naye ekigenda kikitadda. What the hell is going on? Bano be baani abatwala nga tebazza. Narcissists in love relationships. We are covering dating now in particular when you are in love with one or when one is in love with you, as you may call it. Like we noted earlier, for those who missed, narcissistic personalities seem an ultimate catch in the beginning. Boba wakamufuna, they are very charming. They are very exciting until when the game changes. In step number 7, they become aloof, they become manipulative, they become what you never thought they were. In other words, they lure you into the relationship thinking they were very exciting, charming people. But when you get in at level 7, they change. That's what we said last week for those who missed. So when the emotional manipulation has taken weight, now the victim, the one in love with the knock, gets what? Confused. When confusion starts, even it gets more deeper because I told you in the brain, there is a part which doesn't like confusion. There is a part which doesn't like ambiguity. The moment it senses confusion and ambiguity, next is headache. You get headache. Pain, like a real pain in the headache. The brain is trying to warn you that there is confusion going on. What is which is what? It needs clarity. It does not operate in confusion. That's why many narcissistic victims, balwala ulcers, They get indigestion, they get constipation, the brain is not working, it stops. It stops because I told you the brain is an organ where all body activities take place. When the body is out of alignment, there is a problem in the brain. Okay? So when you are confused in a relationship which is not leading anywhere, and then you get that ambiguity in the brain, the body shuts down. You get constipation, you get ulcers, you get headaches, the skin gets pimples because it is trying to warn you that the body is out of alignment and it is toxic now. So don't take this kind of personality trait as something to joke about. It can even lead to real diseases, including insanity. I won't tell you stories of where people are going insane. The wires go off. So when we talk about relationship with knacks, I'll take a highlighter. Therefore, in today's session, you learn the following: how to spot them before you get involved. I'll give you the telltale signs. Like I told you, a zebra has white and black stripes. You can tell that that's a zebra, it's not a dog. The cheetah has dots. You can't say it's a lion when it's a cheetah. When you learn these spots, you will avoid narcissists at the dating scene before you get into the relationship. Why? Because when you get into the relationship, it even gets more harder to live. I'll tell you why. Okay, so today we are learning the spots. How to learn them. How to spot them physically, behaviorally, and socially. There is Sabatia. Number 2, how do they behave in relationships? How do they behave in love relationships? Because you may be calling them a knack, but actually telling knack. We are going to learn today. Number 3, what happens to your mental, emotional, social, spiritual life? Because man is wall. Yeah? Everything falls out of alignment. I told you the mental, the spiritual, the social, the emotional, those dimensions work together to make you a complete human being. So if one disentangles one, others get affected. That's why victims to narcissistic relationships get into financial trouble. Why? They can't work. The mind is sick. They are thinking negatively, complaining all the time, crying all the time. You can't work. So it has financial implications to your bank account, being involved with such personalities. Number 4, you learn the basics of the one-way relationship. What happens there? Eh? And if you're in one, as I'm talking, you will tick. If you're in one, you just tick. Yeah, that one. I'm there. Not forgetting, you don't need to rush any decision because these are emotional matters. I always tell you, when you're dealing with emotional matters, be very careful on how you react. You may lose more than what the reaction has brought. Okay? So let's go slow. Step by step. By the end of the 3 seasons, you'll have a judgment call. Okay? And you'll get some peace of mind. Okay? At least many people are suffering what you're suffering. So you're not the first victim. Okay? And that would be our area of study today. Therefore, share with a friend. Don't be selfish. Okay? Anyone in emotional confusion, every morning I story, excuse me, but I guarantee, okay? Something is happening to their mental and emotional life. Okay? So let's dive right away into the session. Once again, Mariam Nakuja, the ladies guide. If you're watching on Facebook, please follow me. Every Friday we have these sessions. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel for more emotional wellness for time to come. I'll be bringing you different sessions which are going to emotionally elevate you. And what is the result of all this emotional awareness? Is financial freedom. Okay? When the mind and the body are together, next is riches. Okay? But if you're Every day the mind is in ambiguity or confusion. You cannot work. Okay? How to spot a narcissist? What are the telltale signs? Thank you for having a pen and paper. When we talk about narcs, we mean men and women, okay? We can find women narcissists, we can find male narcissists, okay? So it is not one gender, okay? Though, on percentage, the male surpass the female. But if you find a female narcissist, they exist, yes? It's one of the worst life a man can ever live. Okay? So if you're male, put female. If you're female, put male. Okay? How we put them before you get involved too far. Like I said, the moment you're in a relationship with them, the moment you get entangled to a narcissistic relationship, you will never leave. You are in and you are in a trap. The trap will never open because few of the victims of narcissism ever get out. No matter how much therapy you seek, no matter how much you talk to your lovely family and friends, few victims of narcissism survive. Okay? So let's spot them first before you get entangled. Okay? It is important to note that narcissistic, narcs approach dating relationships like a sport. Can't you do? Narcissistic relationships. The narcs approach love, dating like a sport or a sales pitch. I'll explain more. When we look at typical salesmen, abantu abakola amakitunzi b'ebitongole, bw'abajja okuguza ekintu ye representinga ekintu ekyo kyekigenda okuyamba. That is how sales work. Endabika yange n'ekintu ndabika kukwatagana omuguzi agule. In sales and marketing, there is what they call bait and switch. Bait, switch. It is one of the strategies salesmen who are selling automobiles, someone can show you a luxurious car. Now, speed, everything is like jump. No gamba, I'm going to own this. No saving. Oh, now we're going to go. Nagamba ha. Black teddy wo. Tene chikacha kwa. Na hii tusobola kuwa chikechi nala. Amazima gali ne chikachi yali mu. And they knew it. So the salesmen switch. They switch the seller, the buyer, to the next product. And the buyer will buy. Why? Because they have already invested their emotion into the product. Kibaita bait and switch in sales. Now, how does it apply to narcissism? The narcs, the persona, abanazi, but approaching a love relationship, dating, okuvuba, bakuvubanga salesman wako. Ayambala bulungi, nawunya bulungi, yoyagala binyini. Bw'oba oyagala luzungu ayogera luzungu. Lwennyini olulungi. Bw'obanga si musiraamu asobola okwefuula omusiraamu. Bw'abanga si mulokole mu kkanisa. They bait you into believing them. However, when you get committed, no chingira, and they have you, they switch. Now they become the opposite of what you saw. It's called bait and switch. It's a strategy used by salesmen. It's the strategy narcissists use to lure their victims into a relationship, and they switch it. The person who was keeping time doesn't keep time anymore. The one who was curious and calling a lot of time, they don't call anymore. The person who appeared caring and doing what, now they are not caring. They are so everything becomes the other way around. We talked about it last week. I won't repeat that. It's called bait and switch. Okay? So, how do we spot them? Remember, even the good men, The non-narcissist appear into a relationship with the bait and switch. Now, but baiting first. For them, they may not switch, but they will bait you to believe them. The only part that they don't switch easily, like this other personas. Okay? So, what are these spots? How do we tell we have had an encounter with a knock before we get in? Because in psychology, it has been proven. There are a lot of ways of dealing with narcissism, a lot of ways. However, avoidance is the best. If you can avoid not getting into the relationship, is the best. Because when you get in, it even gets harder because of that mental, psychological, and emotional torture you go through. And then you get bonded to the trauma. We would rather don't get involved. By understanding these spots. So we're going to have the physical and behavioral warnings. You have to look at. Tewebuuza tunuulira wano gaya ono sijja kuyingira agenda kunkola ku luguudo lwesitagenda kuvaamu. We have environmental warnings and social. Kwolagira n'ogamba kino ekifo kyendimu buli ali wano waliwo ekyakiredde olakoze bwoti n'ogamba tebadde eteekerawo yani wagamba hello baba excuse me this is not a place I find love chacha you just avoid because avoidance is the best. So we're going to look at the avoidance part, those who are not yet in, and we're going to look at those who are already in. Behavior warnings. Thank you that you're having a pen and paper. Get a pen and paper and start writing. So that when you're at the dating scene, it's like play. It is like play. I can tell. Henry is a narcissist. I don't need to read it anywhere. Deborah. Yeah. What is psychology? The study of human behavior. Mental and behavior. You come in front of me and just better wait. That's why we are always not very happy people, okay? Because we study personalities. So Lucy is sisanga nyosa ni bantu. Kubanga agenda okunimba nga nategedde taxi jimbi. That's the bad part. Lying means a hell of, you need a lot of technology. Yeah? So psychology is a study of human behavior and the mind. Okay? So let me give you a bit of it, how to read them before you get involved. Number one, the self-promoting talk. In my book, Emotional Happiness, in the 11th chapter, I talked about the rise of narcissism in love relationships. We expounded, I will say we, because it's a team. We have editors, we have we have creative directors, we have many behind that book. Yeah? So we talked about the self-promoting talk. When you have just met somebody on the date, let me say, Naso Gajena meets Henry Suri. But as you're seated, like I told you in my book, let them talk first. And then listen to the conversation, where it's going. So if you find that somebody's talking about their achievements so much, there is baiting, we understand, but somebody comes to you, now you have achievements, say, well, have you heard about Deborah so-and-so? Yeah. You see, we own, da-da-da. I own, da-da-da. I guess I hope there's supremacy in the dead. Okay? Now come as an inferior. I don't know whether you understand it. Self-promoting talks in a narcissistic kind of relationship is a lot. Where a narcissist atandika n'okulimba by'atali, even if it means borrowing a car to show off. to appear important, such that the victim may be baited. I did it. When they come into the relationship, you realize they can't avoid buying stuff in the fridge, the refrigerator. You find that even at home, you find that the people he used to call his relatives are actually just friends. Yeah? Everything was a lie. That is enough. So, listen at how somebody promotes themselves. Remember, someone with everything, they don't talk about themselves. Because why? They even fear. So, they keep a low profile. Just get in. I can't believe. Yeah? You know, they don't talk about themselves. But narcissists, they self-promote. Number 2, they spend a lot of time in the mirror. It looks small, but behaviorally, if you see somebody spending most of the time in the mirror, skinny bwagiyiriza tagwa looking good is not the problem, and it's okay. But spending too much time grooming yourself has a lot of questions in psychology. It means you may be grooming yourself for many women to see you. You may be grooming yourself to lure people into thinking that you're attractive, you know? And especially if you're the opposite sex, a male, in front of a mirror all the time, there's a question mark. So, the question is, does he spend a lot of time in the mirror? Yes, that is enough. He already loves himself, and he can never give away that love to anyone else. So whoever comes in expecting him to love back, they are shocked. So the second spot to look out is somebody who spends a lot of time grooming themselves. Taba mu salon, yes, alasala obuvidia buli kaseera bya mu salon. Taba mu ndabiro w'amaali nga mukazi. Bannange, make your research. Those are knocks. They love themselves. Number 3, they put people down easily. Why? Let me give you an example. If you meet somebody, hey, wow, have you met Deborah? Which Deborah are you talking about? This one. Na muzalawa masoko na fula Deborah nti there nobody. Yeah. It may appear good, satisfying to you, but that is a sign that they will do the same to another person about you. They underlook people. So they put people down to make themselves feel better. Remember, narcissism as a character trait, a hidden chizimba chiri munda chivunda. They have inferiority complex, and they try to project it to other people by treating people badly. That's why narcissists, they are not anywhere to treating people bad. Why? Achikola as development here and to feel good by making other people's lives hard. Okay? Number 4, on the short-term interaction with them, atuku behavior. Gawakamulaba, omusanze ku kisaawe, muli mu supermarket. Tomulaba nga nakuta kumanyi omumanyi. They can charm you out. How? Baleta ebibuuzi bose. Tumumanyi. Anoonya environment gy'alimu n'aleeta ebibuuzi. There and then. Nemunyumya, in that particular moment, you may think you've seen him for the last 10 years. That's why they easily lure their victims into intimacy and sexual experiences. By faking that persona of money, remember they have done this for a very long time, and they know how a woman behaves, how a man behaves. So hey, that day, you're in a hotel. What the hell have I done? How have we reached here? Now we are wanted the next victim. That is a narcissist. You see how dangerous they are? Because why? Nobody is fake to deal with them. Nobody is less intelligent to deal with them. The only thing is that they are emotionally manipulative. They manipulate emotions. So the short-term interaction you have, behaviorally, you can easily trust them. No more information in only a short period. Babanga basawo baganda. Which doctors? Yeah? They can take your story in a minute. And that's why women should always remember. A woman falls in love with a man in the presence of a man. I wish you knew that. When you avoid any physical interaction or meeting with a man, it is very hard for you to get emotions. The moment a man accesses you physically, face to face, you're finished, no matter who it is. And that's how nature made it. So what's the solution? I told you in my first book, The Lady's Guide to Fulfilling Relationship. It was them editing. Women fall in love in the presence of a man. I will cover this solution. Men fall in love in the absence of a woman. What is the solution? Avoidance is the best. Don't allow any physical interaction with anybody that only will bring their emotions. No matter how intelligent you are, they will drive you off. As long as back meeting away, but you're finished. That's how narcissists survive. And when you kill interaction and you go for no contact, they'll never, ever, ever, ever manipulate you. It's very hard. So, the kawaii is women fall in love in the presence of a man. So if someone is a knack, no love will avoid. Immediately, pocket is an interaction, you are physical. You will not win them. A different kind of energy. You will end up back in using gold. You will come back that kasa in a narcissistic one-way think. Time is running. Okay? So bottom line, the excitement gets too much in that short interaction that you trust them. You've made a friend. So don't allow anybody who fakes a quick friendship in a short period of time. Remember, I told you in one video called Trust. Yeah? Trust is built with time. Don't give anybody trust in a short period. You cannot know who they are before you spend with them a year or two. Who exactly you're dealing with? After 3 years, you know someone you're dealing with. But this short interaction of trust, it doesn't work. It doesn't matter whether you're a trusted person, whether they are trusted, as long as you're quick to give away trust, you'll spoil the whole thing. Okay? So trust is built with time. Those physical engagements which bring excitement in a short period, that's a dead end you may be dealing with. A knack. Number 5, materialism. They have necklaces, earrings, bangles, but they're living to be way out of this world. You may think, yes, they love them so, but let me tell you something. When something gets into bling bling, on a male especially, because male are logical, they're not emotional. You need to ask yourself. Jewelry, portions, that's something which looks like a plastic doll. If you've seen a China doll, or everything is perfect, but it's a doll. It's not a human being. That's how knacks are. They appear like materialistic, bling bling, but they are China dolls. Very empty on the inside. They don't have any emotion. Okay? So, if you have willpower, ng'olina kufuna omutima omugumu ng'odiringa nabo, manya nti olaba omuntu ng'ali bling bling, ask yourself why are they bling bling. Don't get lured by the golden necklace. What is behind that necklace? The mind. And how many are doing the necklace? They may attend to you now, but after 2 months, you're now joining a line here. Materialism. It is a world of narcissists. They are unfaithful. Yeah. In the beginning, they appear as if they are loyal. Then after, you hear phone calls. Every phone call that comes in is a woman. Yes, Deborah. How are you? Yes, Jennifer. Let me call you back. Natasha. Every call, Then you're like, where are the male friends? Those are all my friends. I don't know why my friends are women. I don't know why my friends are male. Watch out. So let's look at the social and environmental warnings that this person is a narc. Number one, time is running so much. Look at high-end bars. But because I don't want to demarcate places as a code of conduct. Buli bbala ery'amaanyi nga wabeerawo abantu bangi abawala abanyirivu bwe batuula. Kati bw'olowooza nti bakulabidde awo n'olowooza nti you're very special. In the same bar, you find him again. That's where he goes to fish. Social media platforms, Facebook, they survive in those areas where there are numbers, There are numbers. As you're thinking that another one comes, they are in supply. Nabagambi, they approach relationship like a sales pitch, like a business dealing. So, social media. A densely populated city. New York, Kampala, abantu bangi, because everyone here is new. They survive in those areas. When they travel, they go to Paris, okay? So every time you're in such places, look out on who is approaching you. They may be a narc. Remember, they survive in such environments to camouflage their personalities, to appear attractive with a good smell, with a nice shoe, with branded clothes, with hot and heavy. 2 months down the road, we are waiting next. It's like Kakasako. Please look out on the behavioral warnings in those personas, as well as the social and environmental warnings of those personality traits. Number 2, we shall be social. How does he treat inferior people? Let me say cleaners. Let me say barmaids, waitresses, home domestic maids. Does he shout at them or her shout at them? Go wait a young one, But when you see someone with that personality, they can only fake to a victim they are manipulating by faking kindness, but on lower people, they show their true colors. That is the truth there. I repeat, look at how they treat inferior people. Showbiz, they will treat them very shabbily. Shout at them. I'll take a walk away. That's how he's going to treat you in the future. So, and you may ask why? Because they are manipulative. They approach relationship for manipulation to get something out of it. It's a one-way. They behave peacefully. Look at a narcissist as someone who is like a devil. On the top, they fake a face, which is not real. But behind the face is another person. We call that in psychology passive aggression. So waiter, where young boy, you're wasting our time. Look at Mama baby, what are you saying? That is fakeness. Excuse me, sir. The little people matter. Because there is nothing you're looking out of them. You can't treat me so well when the little people, they are nobody. Yeah? They are nuts. bamulimpaati babuusizza. Number 3, tuli ku social and environmental warnings. Ezikulaga nga tonnayingira nti omuntu ono waliwo akawaayiro. Your friends and family warn you. Oli mulaavu, tolaba, n'obeekweka, n'obakyawa, n'okyawa abeewamwe, n'okyawa mikwano gyo munsi ne kusigala mwaba n'omunazi. The friends are telling you something is not right about you. You've changed. Margaret, what is wrong? You're not the one. Please not. The friends and family know who you are, they read you, and they will see the change. When the narcissist is changing you, believe them. So are your friends warning you? You're not family gambe chigambo chechimu kumuntu omu. Please pay maximum attention to what they're telling you. Why? They are not in emotions. You are in the heart. And the heart does not think. It pumps blood. Okay? So as the heart is not thinking, they are thinking. Believe them. So number 3 of the social and environmental warnings that you've mentioned up is when family and friends are telling you something's not right about that man. Something's not right about that woman. Believe them. Okay? So we'll talk if you remember, but wait a minute. Yeah? Yeah? Go and check. Number 4, which is the last, environmental and social warning. Get a dating resume. When you go to a workplace to look for a job, we ask you for a curriculum vitae, which is a resume. Wakolera wa? Bani bye wakolera? Wakola ngani? Wakola emyaka emeka? Mwayawukana mu tebina bijja kulaga liko. Era singa ku resume tulaba nti omwaka oguwedde yakolako mu kitongole bwekiti. Naye omwaka ogwaddako n'agenda mu kirala. Buli mwaka okyusa ebifo nange sinsobola kuwamulira nga resume bagamba nedda tusasire. You're excellent, but you may not go back to us. Resume weraga nti omuntu akoledde mu kifo emyaka 18 oba myaka 10 yakakyusa ebifo nga 2 bwe yaba dependable. So I can easily employ you because the resume is telling us the history about who you are in the work environment. Now, come to the dating resume. How many has this person married before they met you? Has the house housed over 8 women and you're the 9th, 4 and you're the 5th? How do they live? Is there any bit of domestic violence in the history? Take attention. History repeats itself. The past is not independent of the future. They are interconnected. Once a player, will always be. Once a prostitute, they will always be. Again, once a mokodo, they will always be. So look at the dating resume for your loved ones. Tojja gamba nti nze sifaayo sinoonyereza, ojja kunoonyereza ng'oli mu courtroom and it will be too late. Tabanyankolese n'okwana n'oshwera n'obuuza. As you're cornering somebody, ask around the environment. Who are they? Who is this Deborah? Bamuzaala wa? Uliriza. Family kijavaamu. All those things are important at the last moment when you are breaking up. Wamusanga wa? You know? So the dating resume, try to find out the past of your loved one. Have they been changing cities? Have they been changing countries? Have they been changing relationships after 6 months? They will change on you. And that's when you get the idea that this may be a knock. Like I said, the warning signs are so many, I may not finish them in 1 hour. If you miss this and you need more, please look for emotional happiness. Okay? I put some of that spots to look out for in a knock. So if he has been an ex-player and you think that you're going to make him settle down, ekittisa emmese abaganda bagamba kwe kulowooza nti ziri ezazisookawo zaali nsiru ezayita kantu ako katrap. Those were stupid rats. I will pass now, they also get you. Okay? Which means if you see a house If you know that story of a lion which was once sick, and every animal that was entering, akasitolo mukajukira nga buli ensolo eyingira tedda kumbe lion yezirya oli yayingizawo nalengera ebigera ayengera amagumba n'agamba sijja kuyingira. Be as prudent as that. So get the dating resume of your culprit or your lover bud and then see what has been happening in the past. It will replay in the future. So if he has been abusive to many of other women, you may not be so different, okay? Like I said, knacks love themselves and not anyone else. They don't care about being caring. Their world is not caring about others, it's about their needs, okay? And that brings us to the next section. Why it's hard for women to get out of those relationships when they get in. Watching, okay? Why is it hard for women? Men who date narcissists, Mariam.N.M, a counseling psychologist, passionate about women affairs pertaining love matters, and author of 4 amazing books, talking about relationships with a goal of having emotional happiness in every one of my readers. Okay? Everyone who reads my books, I will not talk. 10 years down the road, we're going to see. The book has already made impact. People are getting married. People are getting saved out of relationships which are not working. People are now understanding to distinguish between content relationships without content. Not all emotional happiness. Okay? And that's what I stand for on this channel, on this Facebook page. Emotional wellness is my passion. Your emotional wellness is my purpose. Okay? So let's go to the section of why is it so hard to get out of a relationship with a knack if you're in. Why am I telling you this? To prepare you that if you're involved with them, it may not be easy for you to move out. Please note, it is extremely very, very, very hard to end a narcissistic relationship. We are not talking about marriage. We are talking about dating, in love with it. Yeah? It's very, very difficult. So I'll share some of the reasons why many of the women and the men involved with narcissists can never leave. In my counseling practice, I've seen a lot of them. A lot, uncountable. No matter what you say, no matter what I say, no matter how I put pointers to them that something is going to happen in the future, they get back. And that has been my surprise. And you know what I do? I no longer say anything. Okay? I just wait for that day when they have wasted 10 years of their lifetime, 15, they're the ones to save themselves. When they come to us, they want to hear your judgment. And they want you to approve them. Okay? In fact, they ask me, how can I stay? Hey, they don't want to get out of it. Yet it is emotionally draining. Number 1. Because narcissists don't care so much about caring. They don't care. I told you they are emotional robots. They are like China dolls. Kadoli kaba China. Kababi. Very beautiful on the top, but very empty inside. That's how they are. It's the best definition of a knack. So because they don't care about being caring, even when they wrong their victims, it's the victim to say, I'm sorry. That a message, victim oh. And the game is on. They enjoy it. So it keeps on like a cycle of the victim saying, I'm sorry, when they're not actually the causer of the problem, which now bounds them again to the knack for quite a long time. So this kind of guilt tripping sends off the victim to lose judgment. They lose esteem. They lose their intelligent, conscience. They think that something is not right about them because someone has made them feel worthless. And that's the reason why they lose judgment. Like on table like this, she can't move out. And no matter how much the victim tries to put things right, a narcissist will never change. It will keep on replaying replaying it. It's like episodes. Episode. So a victim lives a life of episodes to death. Babas get for so long. And that's why they are very brained. It is mentally stretching. So number 2, they make you lose trust in everybody. Because you trusted the narc with all your heart, with all your love, and with all your everything, and they betrayed you by faking a persona they're not, and you found that you were duped. You lose trust in everybody. And then you think everybody out there is a bad person, including the good men. Then the mind shuts down. And then the next statement is, I rather keep here because at least I know this one. Where am I going? I will keep this one because now that you even believe that they are not good people. And that's how they keep their victims entangled. Then you make a mistake of trying to forget them rather than moving on. I'm trying to forget. Okay, I will live there, but I will try to forget him. It is impossible. It's not possible. You cannot live in a relationship with a narc and they don't preoccup you with the whole day. They are always on your mind. Why? Because of that emotional ups and downs. Yeah? It makes love, like episodes. Today I'm happy, tomorrow I'm sad. Tomorrow I'm it is like this. So you get entangled. Lastly, you trauma bonded. Like a child, n'akulira mu environment ng'abonaabona ne bw'omulaga environment empya addeyo mu bikadde byamubonyaabonya. Why? They're not used to this world. Okay? So somebody under physical or emotional abuse, they get trauma bonded. Mind, ewunga. That's why they stay there. That's the way of life. And they live there for 30 years. 30 years. That's why it's not even easy to save somebody. Many of the relationships, when someone comes to me, deep in a narcissistic, you can just stay there. Stay there. Because the out where you're going, it is even worse. You're used to being abused. You can't even live in freedom. It's like when the Europeans came to colonize Africa. Then we got independence. Did anything change? Nothing. We went back where we were. You know what? Because independence didn't even help us. It was better when we were under colonialists. Yeah? So that's how even a relationship is. That's why I say somebody should take a judgment call themselves to make a decision whether to stay or to leave. Nobody can ever tell you that. So trauma bonding will make a victim bonded on a narcissist for quite a long time. Because why? The love bulb is always on. For a long time. And which makes them desire the narcissist for a long time. Why? Because bamulega. Uliakulega emotionally. Kati buli wakulega bwat string negwayo bagendo chanchazo kugwayo. Buli wakwongera bwat string negwayo. That's why it is very hard that even when someone who is good, somebody who is loyal comes to you and please come, I give you all. You'll find them boring. You're ever in war, you're ever quarreling. Kati ogenda mu peace. It's like Afghanistan is in Uganda. But peace but the society don't, the environment is what is conducive. That is what happens to somebody in a narc relationship. So, psychologically speaking, you can't make a victim of narcissism understand the impact of a narc to their lives. Mentally, emotionally, socially, spiritually, and yes, financially. Tell us what mpaka nga loses obulamu bwe n'abulira ddala n'aggwerawo ddala n'atuuka n'afuuka nga si oli lumali wagamba wow. It takes you process by process, step by step, up to into shit. Why? Everything is happening in phases. It happens in phases. It happens in phases. So those are some of the reasons why it is very hard for victims of narcissism to live. Kati woba ina sister wo, brother wo ngari nenze sister tawanako, you're wasting your time. You will talk. They will come and drain you, by the way, even draining you. Because I say, hello, Deborah, how are you? Yes, okay, you know what? Mugambe, you know what? Seek counseling or visit some channels, they will help you. Because emotional things drain. But I tell you, counselor don't talk to you. You don't know that even sleeping, I have to use a lot of essential oils to get sleep. So to wait for a counselor, but someone takes you to a coffee shop now, the relationship. At that particular moment, when you talk about love, you're talking about the spiritual part of yourself. But you remember love, the product. We are talking about matters of the spirit. Love is the spirit. It is mental drain. Katoli wabajjanga akunyumiza ebibuuzo ebitaggwaayo leero yaganye biki kakati teyasuze oluli yawasiza omukazi kakati nawulidde mugambe excuse me. Better realistic. Mugambe those things are very draining me. Okay? Try reading Ladies Guide. Genda ku channel ya Ladies Guide tangu okutunula ebintu ebinakuyamba. Emboozi erekeraawo. There is no amount of words. There is no amount of words. You can speak on narcissism that can solve them. Nothing. Psychologically speaking, they never change. No matter what you say, they will not party, they will not education, they will not do some sort of you are wasting your damn time. They never change. Kati okumanya n'ebiseera mu bigambo. Oli okufuula kansala n'ebigambo ebingi bwe biti. N'atraining obwongo omugambe excuse me, musindikire link ya channel yange. Mugambe type Mariam.N.M n'ekyoyagala. Bobola kinga sexual energy gamba Mariam.N.M sexual intimacy bajja kuwapirira. Mariam.N.M how to deal with a narcissist bajja kuwapirira. Never remember draining muntu kujja n'aleeta ebiboozi for 6 hours mwogera ku muntu on a telephone. It's draining the spirit. Remember, you have to go for therapy. Omala kwebyo omutwe gukuluma. Olina okunywa amazzi ate olina okweba. Ati mwefule bakansala nga temuli bakansala. Buli muntu agusomerera. We know the code of conduct. Okay? So let's move to the very last part of our session today. Okay, now. You've understood. He, she may be a narcissist. You are in love. You're on an emotional balance, on and off, on and off, on and off, horticolony. And you're involved for quite long. Then you may be asking yourself, what can I do about it? What can you do about it? You're living with them. You're in love with them. No chitegero. Never tell signs in what the engage my meeting them. Again, psychologically speaking, there are a lot of remedies on how to deal with this kind of situation of dating and in love with a knack. However, in the interest of time, I will begin to chapter number 11, the rise of narcissism. Nabalaga, how to recover from narcissism. And I called it narcissistic recovery. But I'm going to give you some of the things to cut the whole story short. Because like I said, when you talk about narcissism, society. Community. Therefore, much of the information you'll get it from Emotional Happiness, the book. You're emotionally sick. Number one, a tip of the iceberg. Most of the topics I bring here, they come from my book, then I expound them. Okay? So, let us conclude narcissism now. And this is what I say. Again, psychologically speaking, if you have not gotten involved with a narc or a narcissistic relationship, please don't even bother getting involved. Because there are a lot of ways on how to deal with this character trait, but it always states that avoidance is the best. So avoidance is the best. If you are not yet married to him, if you are not yet deeper, avoidance is the best. Because the moment you get into this thing, my dear, many of people who run in countries never going to see that they will face narcissists. Just to get psychological air. Ufune ku space. Nogamba omuntu awonye ekintu. Oh, ayinda banze Uganda. Ayinda banze Ghana. Just because of that personality. Abanga, they occupy your side because of that thing they do. On and off. But if you're already involved and you're in deeper, hey, the wholesome solution. So avoidance is the best. So you know how to spot them now. You are already aware of the telltale signs, socially and behaviorally. Don't get involved. The story about newobo ulirango ufa. Nakunyira bulungi. N'otunuulira akagatto. N'olabanga ayinamu ka character kali. Don't get into it. Nabagambe kiri kiringo bankugambe ki. Ogenda okifumanga embiri ziri bwe ziti. Like I said, osobola n'okubuuka w'osula, n'orelocatinga, n'ogenda mu ggwanga eddala, n'ogenda mu city endala, ng'odduka kibambulira. Remember, they're like devils. They get information from you, you trust them, and they use it to manipulate you. So, avoiding them is the best. That is the best remedy if you're not yet too far. And don't forget that dating them is too tempting. It's like tempting when you're in a weight loss program. Weight loss. I'm going to bust. But I like chocolate cakes. Once in a while, ndabaka chocolate cake ningamba. Sigenda kupiga. Nebya geshinga bana akolwalira lukaluka. Then nenjija. Nenyu akadomola kamazi. Ninga mpya chocolate. That's how we see. You can't easily run away from them. Meaning that if you're in your sight, you will give in. Never put in their magazine. Strong as you are, even when you know the telltale signs, as long as you keep them in your audience, they will take you home. So, number one, avoidance is the best. Don't date them, period. That's the decision you should ever make. I don't want to lose my money. I don't want to lose my self-esteem. I don't want to lose my mind. It's not worth it. So, avoidance is the best. And if you're to stay, you go to already. I will answer. If not, umaze ebbanga ddene naye ng'empisa zonna ozirabye ezo okukivaamu ogenda kufiirwa heavily kubanga tosobola kudda mu bulamu buto where you think that getting out and staying is all the same. There is a loss. The best advice to such a scenario is cultivate meaningful relationships outside that relationship. Emikwano, Get supportive friends. Haven't you met a friend akwagala nnyo n'asinga n'omwagalwawo nga akutegedde n'okusinga oli agamba nti akulina mu nnyumba nga everything you report to them you can't report to your loved one? That's how people who live with narcissists behave, and it is okay. Why? When you get supportive friendships outside your love relationship, nofuna mukwano gw'omukyala, nofuna mukwano gw'omwami nga gwe weeyabulizaamu. Because remember, narcissists don't build emotional connection. Maybe intimacy and sex. That one they are quick because it brings satisfaction to them. But giving you their heart, giving you their entanglement of it's as if ever mubera bapia. Do you really know so and so? I'm not even sure. I think I'm because they don't build emotional connection. Yet relationships survive on emotional connection. To call it a relationship, and they don't give it. Yet you're already entangled now. It's better to cultivate relationships out of your relationship. Get a friend, get a family member, or again to feel that worthiness. You can get it elsewhere, but not from them. Don't forget, no matter what you're going to do in life, no matter how good you will be, no matter what you'll ever do for the narcissist, they don't connect emotionally. Why? They are emotional robots. And what they live, I said in our first video, they live emotional emptiness in the victim's life. So if you're already entangled, I cannot tell you to get out. It may be difficult if you can afford the repercussion, because life is about opportunity cost. Lose this, get this. You lose this to get that. But you cannot lose without, you cannot get without losing. If you fear losing and going into that cost of beginning again in life, you have to cultivate fune emikwano oyagala abantu funayo muganda wo omukyala gwowenyumirizaamu n'omuwa ebyambalo buli kimu gowulya nti obulamu bwange gundi oyo akumanyi nina emikwano naye gundi oyo antegedde ate naye n'akitegeera nti olina omunazi omunyumiza n'omugamba omuntu oyo olaba munazi ne mumutegeera ne mumunyumyako ogenda okulanga tekyalina bulemu kati ne bw'atakwagala emotionally somebody else is feeling the weight, because man is there to feed on love, a human being. So if someone is not giving it to you and they are sitting in the seat of love, not giving it but sitting in it, it may be a disservice to you. So I will conclude by saying, if you're already involved and you're not willing to leave, please cultivate a meaningful relationship. Outside the relationship, bali obawera abeera ekigambo love tekitegeeza musajja na mukazi beba. Sexual experiences are the smallest part when it comes to a love relationship. Kalinga icing sugar olina wakakuwanga tataddemu emotions wakumala ebiseera. The emotional input, the communication, the heart to heart, the mind to mind is more important than the body, because I feel you. Ngoyogera omuntu onowulira nga akutegedde mukwano gwo ng'amukabira munagamba dear, what can we do? Do you find a friend? Kati oba omufunyi love you ng'obiswitchinga. Not to cheat, it is kyogedde. Cheating is kyogedde. Though it may be a remedy, but you can find a relationship with a brother, with a sister, with a friend, someone who is always single. Fully, but a meaning of intimacy. That's the best way to live with a narcissist. Okay, what do you want to catch? Okubeera wookwe n'obutabeera wookwe ekyakola difference. So cultivate meaningful relationship. So as we end the show today, in summary, these are the things we've learned today about dating a narcissist or being in love with a narcissist. You have learned that narcissists seem like an ultimate catch in the beginning, very charming, very caring in the beginning, where many women, many men don't see through their charms and they get devastated when they change in the nearby future and they don't appear what they presented in the first place. You have learned, number two, the facts you need to know about the one-way relationship, where someone is taking, and never returning back anything. That's enough. Like I said, when you get a knock, take home winners. Bandaba. But change your watching outinga. Abanazi. Number three, you have learned that narcissists approach love relationships, dating like a sport, to win like a sales pitch, to lure you in, win their trust, win everything from you, and then when you're committed, they change. We called it a bait and switch strategy. Show them this, give another when they are already committed. Number four, you have clearly understood how to spot these personalities and how to avoid getting involved. We've looked at the behavioral warnings that you're getting involved with the narcissist. We have looked at the societal and environmental warnings that you are having an encounter with a narcissistic personality. Number five, you have understood why many victims of narcissism never leave those relationships. They stay and stay, get out, bano nebaddayo, babanga abagenda ne bw'omuletera omukazi omuntu mulamba oti nomukama omukyalo oyo muwase ogenda kuteera obulamu bwe amubowa ayagala oli amuwanika amutawanya bw'ati jawulira nze gwenfiirako trauma bonding. Number six, we have concluded by revealing to you that the best remedy if you're not yet involved in narcissistic relationships, avoidance is the best. Basing on the spots, the telltale signs, when you see them in somebody, back off and make a resolution in your life never to get involved with them. Because when you get involved, you will never leave. Number seven, you have already if you're already deeply involved with a narc, you have children with them, the relationship is so long that breaking away that tie may cost you everything, financially, career, destabilizing you domestically, and the cost is too high, but you're already involved. We have recommended, read the book, Emotional Happiness, chapter number 11, The Rise of Narcissism. We have Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Tips. And then you will understand that when you want to recover from a narcissist, someone who has taken you on and on and on in a relationship, you need to, first of all, recover, love yourself, cultivate meaningful relationships which are going to help you feel loved. Because you're craving it, because you feel empty inside. Someone else may help you fill that gap. Lastly, you have understood that since changing them does not work, no matter how many words you may speak, no matter how much you quarrel, no matter how much drama you pull off, no matter how many meetings you call, it won't work. Psychologically speaking, it does not work. Because we have studied that kind of personality, and the conclusion is they never change. Why? There are many reasons, which I can't put in this very short time. Therefore, look for a friend, find a family member where you can draw your love and trust. People you can trust with your information. People you can trust with your documents. People you can trust with every nitty-gritty about you, but not them. Why? They are emotionally not caring and they will never be. Remember, narcissists never emotionally connect with anybody. They love themselves. Thank you for watching this far, and thank you for being a part of this session today. If it's your very first time here, please follow the Facebook page Mariam Nakuja, the Ladies Guide. If you are watching on YouTube, this replay, Mariam Nakuja, the Ladies Guide is my channel, subscribe to the channel, and you'll have an amazing experience full of emotional happiness now and ever. Thank you so much, and see you next week again with season 3. Season 3 is married to a narcissist. Getting married to a narcissist. What can you do? Because marrying them is a lifelong commitment. If you find this personality and you marry to them, we shall discuss further next week. Season 3, one-way relationship when married to a narcissist. Thank you so very much for sharing this video with your friends and family. If you find content in this, please give me a thumbs up, Facebook and YouTube. Always remember, we upload every Saturday this same video. I go once and I give it all. I do once, I don't put it, I want once. But, and don't forget, we are always live here every Friday at 5 p.m. East African time. Mariam.N.M, the Ladies Guide, a psychologist, a counselor, and author, very passionate about love, matters of the heart. That's where I last. Very happy. You see? Very happy. I don't know whether there's someone who is happy like me. I even fear telling you. I want now to give it away to others. Okay? So see you next week in our season 3, and